have company on the way down. Now change that stare on your face to a smile. Try to be nonchalant. If they see you talking to me, they'll think you're commiserating with yourself, which in reality you are, aren't you? Or aren't you?
You know as well as I do this cannot go on much longer. Sooner or later I will.
Wrong. Sooner or later, I will. Meanwhile, swing around or swoon. They're almost on your back.
Hi.
Mr. Desmond.
Well, you have good light for work, Tim. I won't get in your way. Excuse me.
Like I didn't even exist. And I thought he liked me.
Jean-Paul Desmond, the man of many moods, most of them mysterious. Well, settled for me. I like you.
You make it sound as romantic as...
Casanova?
Dead as he is, he'd be more convincing.
Dead as Erica Desmond is. I've got to bring her to life on this canvas. So, up on your perch and try to be a model. Model.
Dan, are you still here?
Yes, and becoming more engrossed every minute. Have you seen this?
What?
This.
Oh, yes.
When?
Well, I mean, just now when you held it up. But if you mean, have I seen what's inside it, I'm afraid you'll have to give me more than just a cursory glance. The partially covered cover.
All right.
The answer is yes. I have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you too also know that one day mankind will create an artificial liver. It'll be completely gin-resistant. That interests you, eh?
Oh, I'm a sherry man myself.
Well, it's the same difference. Because the volume of a toxic varies inversely as its pressure, and so on ad infinitum. Euclid Boyle, right?
Well, that's all medical textbook stuff. I was schooled in Johnson, reversals, and high court rulings.
Well, just as law has its rules, so does science. Established by men like Einstein and Pasteur, Euclid, Dr. Boyle.
But not what's going on around here. You mean to say that all these books add up to bringing back the dead to life? To Jean-Paul freezing Erica's body and then clinging to this pathetic hope that she'll just tomorrow step out of it and be alive again?
I can't fault his hopes, Dan. Or the fact that one day cryonics may be more fact than fantasy.
I think this place is beginning to get to you, too. As for me, it's a never-never land where a man almost begins to believe anything.
Well, if you believe in love, I'm afraid you'll just have to accept that it's Jean-Paul's devotion to Erica that leads him to believe...
I believe in love, all right. Except there are some people who sell me short in that direction. Take you, for example.
I was just speaking abstractly. I wasn't talking in a personal vein.
Or I wasn't.
And I still am. It seems somehow that love, in the classic sense, nowadays is just considered old-fashioned and outmoded, as if all the sentiment was somehow filtered out of it.
Well, you could make a sentimentalist out of me.
I'm just trying to make you understand a particular man and his love. A man that we're both very fond of.
Well, Jean-Paul aside and all these scientific achievements, I'm very much afraid that he's on the verge of slipping beyond the edge of reason.
Oh, Dan, that's not fair.
Well, neither is it fair for him to hold us all here as hostages, because he fears that public knowledge of Erica's death and of his having frozen her body would mean an autopsy and the end to his cryonics experiment.
It just seems that you don't understand. You cannot accept anybody risking anything for love.
Well, maybe that's my problem. But never mind what I understand. Do you honestly believe that...
Erica Desmond will ever be brought back to life?
Jean-Paul's sake, I hope they can. And will.
He's like a science fiction writer jumping the gun. Except who knows? There's so much in life today that no one really understands. Tell me, do you honestly hope that someone can be reborn?
Yes, I honestly do believe it will happen. But not in our lifetime.
Bringing it back to life, Tim?
Trying to, sir. Huh.
He did come from his room. But when I went to look for him, he was like the man who wasn't there.
Now you're beginning to believe in ghosts. Hey, cut it out, will you? I said knock it off. Look, he could have come out of his room without you seeing him.
Yes. But did he?
This is my Tante Therese. She was on my mother's side. Actually, she's only 3 generations away.
Very beautiful woman.
Oh, and brutal. She strangled her husband with a drape cord.
How ghastly.
Yes, well, he gurgled a lot. But I wasn't there, so I didn't really know for sure. And this dour old fellow is Oncle Etienne.
And what dire deed did he commit?
Oh, he was born, he died, and very little in between.
It's hard to imagine how anyone so undistinguished could have been born into your family, Jean-Paul.
Well, Etienne was, on April the 2nd, only a day away from being a fool. Or was he? Ah, well, we must see how my darling Erica's portrait is coming along.
They're so hard at work. Why disturb them?
Look at that.
What's your problem, John?
My ever-loving mother. She's all over him like a tent.
So, they're old enough to know what not to do. And you keep it down to a dull roar.
I better spit before I begin to bite.
Hold it, Holly. Look, your mother is an available widow, and Jean-Paul is a mucho hombre in the same state. So come on, let's concentrate on this instead of that.
Who was his wife?
Bubako, but her charm doesn't grace the family gallery.
I never cease to be amazed at how much he resembles you.
Yes, and my resemblance to him.
The eyes are identical.
And the smile.
And the charm.
And the need.
Please, you're making me melt.
It's the fire that burns.
what spell do you have over my daughter? I haven't seen Holly sit still in as long as I can remember.
Well, Tim, as the French of old would say, comment ça marche with beloved Erica?
Well, please don't look, sir. It's completely out of cadence.
Why? What's wrong?
Everything. I can't seem to bring it to life.
It or her? My wife, I mean.